Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to create a relief lino cut. A relief printmaking is actually printmaking where you cut into normally like rubber or wood, and what happens is you're exposing the area, or you're leaving the area that needs to be printed. Okay, so these are a few examples of what you will be possibly creating. Okay, so as you can tell, this one was carved down, which left this part, which was all printed. Okay? And you can create all different things that, with this type of medium. Bird, swirl, butterfly. Okay. You don't have a real huge spot that you're going to be working with, but it's okay. So because you can get plenty of details in here. Now, the tools that you'll be working with for this project, for this part, okay? You'll be working with what's called a gouge, all right? They have these blades on the end, okay? You gotta make sure that they're tight so you can, so they don't fall out. And when you look at them, all right, they have different numbers. I know it might be a little hard to see, okay? But there's numbers on the back of them. Honestly, I personally like the 2 and the 3. A little hard to see, but you can kind of see that they have like different shapes. There you go. That might be a little bit better to see. Okay, one's a little wider than the other. All right. Now, when we use this, all right, this is my practice. All you do is you're making sure that your hand stays behind. Okay, and you're peeling off the top layer. All right. That's how we just carve out the stamp. Now, you don't want to press really hard down. Okay, it's just the top layer. Now, the one neat thing is if you go too dark, like too deep, there's like this dark layer in the center, and you'll start noticing and pop out if you have it, if you're peeling too dark. Okay, so how do we go about designing what we want to use for our project? Okay, so what I did was I took a regular pencil and I drew out what I would like to do. Everything that is with the pencil is going to print, okay? If there's any area that you don't want to print, so for example, the areas that I did not color in, okay, that is what you're going to carve out, all right? So, pardon me, all this area that I've got going on right here, all this space in here, I want that to be white, so, and I want this to be black, so I want this area to print. So I'm going to just carefully, actually I want to use a 2, and I'm just going to carve out this white area. Now, all the little shavings, they're going to end up in the trash, but you can definitely put them in one spot. Okay, some, areas you got to take your time. And you don't want it to be too shallow, because then when you print, what will happen is that you'll get what's called chatter. Chatter is the little scrapey lines, I guess that you might want to call it. Kind of looks like this when you print, like scratchy lines. Some people like it, some people don't. That's up to you. All right, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're going to quickly go through this. Now, one thing about this, the rubber stamp, okay, if you want, you can draw this 100 times because it's not going to hurt your project. But once you start carving, if you carve out something or you make a mistake, okay, I can't quite fix it, all right? So you're going to have to find a creative solution for your mistakes. All right. I'm almost done. Now, as you can see, I didn't use this bottom area. One, there's stuff there, so it's a personal choice for me not to do that. But if you have space, you could, in theory, create 2 stamps. Okay, almost done with this one. Ooh, almost there. Now, as you can see, this kind of goes on, quick. And as I'm moving things around, I always make sure that my hand is behind the blade. Because honestly, really, if your hand's here, more than likely you're going to hit yourself in. You don't want stitches. Almost there. A little bit here. Now, as you can see, I have this border around it. Okay, you could do one of two things. Now, right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up carving a little bit around the border to kind of give it shape, and then I'm actually going to use scissors and I'm going to cut it. Okay, so here we go. Go around, create this nice shape of my shell. Give it like a little bumpy border. Okay, here, and then almost there. Perfect. All right, scissor time. You could carve all this down, which is absolutely fine, or we can trim it up, make life a lot easier. Yeah, I noticed how that's easy. Now, this could be another stamp. I can make a really neat pattern to that. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to kind of just trim around it so I can have a smaller stamp to deal with. And then I'm going to, there we go. Now I don't want to make it too small because you kind of need something to hold on to, so I'll show you in a second what I'm going to do with this rest of it. All right. Beautiful. Now, there's still like an edge here, so I'm just going to go around and I'm just going to peel this back. All right. Almost there. Because I don't want any of this to show up when I print, because I just want it to be the shell. Awesome. Being a tuchus. There we go. All right. Let's just clean this spot right up. And we're going to get ready to print. And just make sure that this area is all cleaned up. Awesome. Okay, so let's just brush this all out. Okay. So now we have our stamp. It looks all beautiful, okay? If you kind of hold it on the side, you can kind of see where things are flat and where things might not be. I'm going to make sure that, like, I can see some here, but we're going to show you that, how that affects. Okay, so the paint or the ink that we're going to be using is called water soluble, okay, block printing ink. This is amazing because it is easily cleaned up, okay? Why is this? Because you use hot water and you can wash this really fast. Sponge for the bench hook, okay? That's this metal thing that goes on the side of your table. And this is a brayer, okay? Easiest way, put a sponge down and rub it back and forth, okay? Gets clean very fast, okay? Now, as you can see, our stamp is very small. You do not need a lot of this. And this stuff goes a long way. Also, it works well with water too. So I'm gonna put just a small dab. As you can tell, it really wasn't big, okay? I'm gonna take my brayer, because when it kind of goes back and forth, it sounds like braying of a donkey, okay? I'm gonna go back and forth like this. You want it to be tacky, you don't want it to be too clumpy, okay? Take that and move this over. I'm gonna roll it onto my stamp. Now, as you can see, the areas that I didn't quite get, okay? See all the chatter going on? Yeah, it's okay. I kind of like that look. You want to roll it so it's nice and thick. You don't want any thin areas. All right, take your stamp, press nice and evenly on it. Okay. And ready? Voila. That is so cool. Okay. And you can print this over and over and over. You might need to add a little bit more ink on, or even one better, you could take a little bit of water, okay, mix it onto your ink and use that, and you'll get a little bit lighter color. Okay, just press that down. Oh, it's so beautiful. Now, For some reason, if you start carving out, okay, and you notice that in your first print that you had too much ink, that it kind of went into all those like little cracks, wash off your stamp, okay, and print again. My suggestion is before you actually put this on your project, test it out, okay? Don't forget that cleanup is a must, that all these little shavings need to go into the trash. Hot water will definitely clean up your stamps real quickly, okay? And that is how to do a lino print.